I'm with Asher Rokach from the Western Wall Heritage Foundation. Now, Asher, what is the Western Wall Heritage Foundation?
This is an organization, a government organization that sits under the Prime Ministry office, and this is how the State of Israel is running the Western Wall. I mean, we are not a private organization or something. We are belongs to the Israeli government, and we run everything that happened in the Western Wall, from cleaning to guiding to archaeological excavations. Everything that happened in the Western Wall, we are like the organization that run the Western Wall.
Now we're here in a beautiful building at the Western Wall Plaza. When was this building opened?
It's open, right? I think it was 2020, just when COVID started to end. So, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2020.
And there's a lot of archaeology in here. What sort of things can you see here with the archaeology that you can see here in this building?
So, if you come here, you will see different periods of time. From the time of Hadrian the Caesar, Ilia Capitolina, we have the Cardo, the main street of Jerusalem at that time. And you can also see from the First Temple period, it used to be a building that belongs to the kingdom, to the king back then. It's like a building where they collected the taxes of the people. And from the First Temple, I said, from the Roman period, Ilia Capitolina, and that's the main thing that you're going to see here.
How was all this unearthed? Because I've been here for a long time in the Holy Land, and I didn't even know this was here, but it's going as you come into the Western Wall Plaza. It's under the plaza, isn't it?
Yeah. So everything was covered with debris, and like it used to be here a hill next to the Jewish Quarter, below to the Jewish Quarter, if you're familiar with the Western Wall Plaza. So they took out everything and make an archaeological excavations in order to uncover what we have here. It was like a 15 years of working.
Wow.
Yeah, like, layer after layer, very like archaeological, our archaeological work, like layer after layer, and not to destroy everything that we see here. And they managed to uncover what we have here now that you can see.
Do you believe there's much, much more to be uncovered over the next few years as you move along under this site?
Yeah, there is a say in Jerusalem that if you want to uncover the whole Jerusalem secret, you will need another 100 years from now to uncover everything that we have here. I believe that they will find more stuff. What? I don't know yet, but we hope to find something very special. Yeah.
So the things that you're finding, are these houses that you're finding?
There are houses here that was in the Western Wall Plaza before 1967. There also, we have the main street of Jerusalem at the Roman and the Byzantine time. So we have here like a mall, like a Cardo, like a main street with shops around it. We also have a house, but as I mentioned before, it's from the First Temple period, which is like almost 2,600 years ago. So, give or take.
Yeah. Are some of these buildings actually built into the bedrock?
Yeah, I mean, the Roman, they were like great engineers, right? They knew how to build stuff. So we see here that they took the bedrock of Jerusalem and crave it to be shops, for example. And they built their streets upon the bedrock. So, in archaeology, what you want is to go down until you meet the bedrock. That's the goal.
Now, obviously, when you've got people living here, water is very important. So how did they have the water coming here into this area?
I mean, in Jerusalem, it's not like Europe. We don't have a lot of springs here.
Yeah.
And not a lot of lakes, of course. So in Jerusalem, there is the Gihon spring, which is in the city of David, not far from the Western Wall Plaza. But mainly, they used cisterns to collect rainwater from the roof to the bottom of the house. They have like a huge cistern, and we found cisterns like this all over the place. This is mainly how they managed to collect water.
Do you have an aqueduct as well?
There was here an aqueduct from the time of the Second Temple period that's built by the Maccabees, the Asmoneans, to bring water to the Temple Mount. And actually, we can see it from here, Paul. If you look over there, I mean, we and Paul like looking outside the door, and above, on the right side, we have found part of the aqueduct that's built by the Maccabees 2,100 years ago. Probably the Romans also used it. also the Muslims after, because it was in use until the 1940s. The water still running all the time, all the time, all the time. So the aqueduct was active until the 1940s.
Wow.
Yeah.
And of course, this was all part of Jordan until 1967. Were Jews allowed to come here before 1967?
Unfortunately not. Israel and Jordan back then made an agreement that Jewish people will be able to come to the Western Wall and the Temple Mount, to the holy Jewish site. But in reality, it didn't happen. And I heard some stories about Jewish American citizens that entered Jordan with their, like, let's say, American passports and can manage to come here. But it was few stories. Most of the people can't come to it.
But of course now everyone can come here since Israel took it over in 67.
Sure. So the Western Wall, people are asking me sometimes during the tours, can I come here? I'm a Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm not Jewish. Of course, the Western Wall is open to everyone. We don't check who come inside. Whatever you believe, it doesn't matter to us. You are more than welcome to come to the Western Wall, to come to the Western Wall tunnels. It's open to everyone, 24/7. The Western Wall is never get closed. Not in Jewish holidays, not in Shabbat, not in national holidays. The Western Wall is a place that work and open 24/7 a day.
So as you've been excavating this site, have you found anything very, very interesting?
Yeah, we have found actually many things. We have found coins from different period of time. I managed to find during the COVID, we were like, we can't work here, so I volunteered to one of the excavations under the Kotel Plaza, the Western Wall Plaza, and I found a coin from the Mamluk time, which it means like only 700 years ago. In Jerusalem history is not a lot, right? Wow. I was excited because it's a coin. The archaeologists didn't excited about it because it's only 700 years old. It's not that old. We have found coins here. We have found personal stamps that people used to use it to write letter, to sign letters. So on part of the stamps, we have found names that mention in the Bible, the Old Testament. Yad Aya, for example. Chagav, for example. And not to be political at all, someone called Netanyahu. All of those names are mentioned in the Bible, and we found stamps with names like this from the First Temple periods.
That must be really exciting to be finding these things, especially when it's from the Bible.
Yeah, I can't even express how excited it is, because you read the Bible and you come to Jerusalem and the Holy Land in general, and you see everything that wrote in the Bible come to life. Yeah. And for me, it's like the most exciting things about Jerusalem.
Mm. Is this area a very important place for soldiers to come and get dedicated before they go into the army?
Yeah, because we talk about that Jerusalem is holy for the Jewish people for a long time, let's say 4,000 years ago. It started by King David. Even before King David, like 4,000 years ago, according to the Jewish history. So Jerusalem was very meaningful for the Jewish people for the whole time. Until today, of course. And the Western Wall is part of the Temple Mount, which is the holiest place for the Jewish people until today. So, there is a Jewish custom in weddings. If you make a Jewish wedding, and you have like the ceremony, when you go to the aisle and make the wedding ceremony. Just before you started the wedding itself, that dancing and everything, the whole fun, we stop. And there is a Jewish custom for hundreds of years to break a glass and say a verse from Psalms. In Psalms 137, we say, if I forget the whole Jerusalem, let my right hand forget our cunning. There is a Jewish custom that when you do a wedding, so just before you start to dancing and happy about your happiest day in your life, you stop and say this verse from the Psalms. It's for 100 years. Jewish people all over the world is doing this custom because Jerusalem is very important to us. So I guide IDF soldiers also, and I meet with them, like people, and new soldiers, either officers, commanders. And for us, for them, for the Israeli army, it's very important to bring them here to talk about what is the connection of the Jewish people to Jerusalem and what we can learn from Jerusalem for now, for this war, for their service in the army.
And sadly, there was one soldier that was killed in October the 7th. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there is a new site in the Western Wall tunnels that tell the story of the Western Wall and tell the story why Jerusalem is important to the Jewish people, the Temple Mount, the Western Wall. It's like 8 minutes long. That's all, but very, very, very nice. Like you have screens around you, and you have a 3D model in the middle that change its shape and holograms and everything. When the Western Wall Heritage Foundation worked on this exhibit, so they took videos of induction ceremony of IDF soldiers that occurred here in the Western Wall Plaza. So they took videos of the soldiers taking the oath with the Bible, and they take it and add it to the show, the DC induction ceremony in the Western Wall Plaza. And then, after October 7th, we heard that one of the soldiers that you see if you do the show, you see one of the soldiers there got killed, unfortunately, in October 7th during the war. So it was very meaningful also for the family to come here and see their son like this.
Do you have an official photographer for the site?
Yeah, so in the Western Wall, if you come here, you will see someone walk with a camera and document everything that happened here. We have an archive that if we need any informations, videos, photos about something that happened in some date, we have it here. So we have a photographer that takes pictures and videos of the Western Wall, of what happened in the Western Wall Plaza all the time. So yeah, his name is Eitan, and he walks here all the time, all day, to document what happened here.
And because you have many, many famous people come here to the Western Wall, don't you? Who sort of came?
Yeah. I mean, we have VIP people that come here. I guided some of them. Yeah, we have from, actors, producers, businessmen, women, of course. Like, we have also delegations from different countries that come here and send their people to the Western Wall.
What do they say when they've been here?
I think that when they come here, they understand what is the importance of Jerusalem for the Jewish people. This is what I see, at least.
How big is the Western Wall?
So, the Western Wall from side to side is 488 meters long. I mean, the Western Wall is part of the Temple Mount walls. It's 488 meters long, and it's high. It used to be 60 meters high at the time of the Second Temple. Today, it's like 40 meters or so.
Now, of course, Israel's at war at the moment. Have the hostage families been coming down here to pray?
Yeah. Since the war began, we have here families of hostages. I personally met the family of Agam Berger. She is an IDF soldier that kidnapped by Hamas terrorists during October 7th. And she released from Hamas captivity not long time ago, I think 2 weeks ago or so. So I met them. It was Hanukkah, but in 2024. As I see it, in that difficult time in Israel, we want the Western Wall to be the place where people can come and pray and feel hope for better days.
When people come to the Western Wall, they often write some prayers. What happens to those prayers? Do they stay there forever and ever?
So there is a Jewish custom that mentioned, the first time that was mentioned, it's 500 years ago. There was a rabbi in Jerusalem, a Jewish rabbi in Jerusalem, that he got asked by someone what to do if he want to pray, and he told them, write a note and put it in the Western Wall. So every 6 months before the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, which is the beginning of the Hebrew year, and before Passover, we take out the notes and bury it in the Mount of Olives. Because in the Jewish tradition, if you have a holy book and you don't use it anymore, you don't throw it, you don't recycle it, you make like a holy burial. you take it to some place and bury it. So those notes are people's prayers. So we take it to the Mount of Olives and pray and bury it there.
Right. And this is a special ceremony that you do every...
Sort of a special, yes. The rabbi of the Boston Mall, Rab Shmuel Rabinovich, will come to the Boston Mall Plaza and take some notes out and make like a prayer and a blessing for all the people. And then we have the workers that take it carefully outside the Boston Mall and take it to the burial.
What is your prayer for Israel at this time in the Western Wall area?
I pray that we will win this war, that we will get back our hostages, that we will make Gaza clean of terror. We want to live in peace with them, of course. And I wish that we have a real peace here in the Holy Land, between us, between our neighbors, between us and the Palestinians. And I pray that people will come from all over the world, from different backgrounds, will come to Jerusalem and to the Western Wall in peace and to understand how beautiful Jerusalem is. Take everything aside, politics and everything aside. Jerusalem itself is a very beautiful place to come. And when you come here, you have a feeling like that you touch history.
What is your website for people who'd like to know more about the work that you're doing here at the Western Wall?
So the Western Mall have a website. You can Google it, thekotel.org, which is thekotel.org. That's the official website of the Western Wall.
Okay, Asher, well, thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thanks for coming.